Hey guys, it's Ashley with Pugs and Pearls, and today I'm going to be doing another Get Ready With Me video featuring mostly Colourpop products and featuring this Bare Necessities palette by Colourpop. I actually purchased this way back in, I believe, like November, December when it came out. When I saw it, I just couldn't help myself. I was like, man, this is definitely like a neutral palette, a perfect palette for me. And I haven't used it, and we're in March of 2020. Also that came out during this time was the Colourpop brush roll, and I'm kind of a sucker for brushes. I have way too many and I need to declutter, but these kind of seemed cool, so I thought we could test these out finally today. It comes with quite a lot, more so eye brushes than to me face brushes, but we're gonna go ahead and give them a shot. In the midst of everything, obviously there is a lot going on in the world today, and I just felt like maybe a Get Ready With Me video was the perfect video to talk to you guys, just kind of one-on-one and do my makeup. There is so much happening, and I'm not, I guess I'm, it's even hard to talk about. So like, I am not going to work physically. I'm working from home. That's been a huge change. So I thought, you know, I just want to kind of share my thoughts with everybody with everything that's going on and just do my makeup, which I haven't done in 2 weeks now, since I've actually been home for 2 weeks. My team went home last week, so they've only been home for 1 week. I've actually been sick, so I have been at home for 2 weeks, and I've had 2 weeks of kind of self-quarantine, so to speak. And I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my experience and just kind of talk through this, because again, it's a hard time. There's a lot going on, and I feel like a lot of people are scared, and rightfully so, but I think it's nice to have something to take you away from that. Do something that's normal and natural in your routine. And since I haven't done my makeup in 2 weeks, we're gonna do my makeup today and finally use something that I haven't used, and we're just gonna chat. So let's get started. First things first, I'm going to be doing my Smashbox So Chill Coconut Primer Water. You guys know this is one of my favorite this is my favorite primer waters to use. It's just really nice and refreshing, feels really good on the skin, and I do feel like it does a little something for my makeup as far as like prep. And I am going to be using some newer products in this video just because like I wanted to test out some things that I hadn't had a chance to use yet. So one of those being the Professional Hydrate Primer. I hauled this recently in my Sephora haul that I did, and I was really excited because I really love the Professional regular one that's in the green tube. So I'm really excited to try this, and I'm hoping I'll be able to see some type of a difference, but it just seems like a cool concept, so we're gonna go ahead and try that first. It just comes in the little blue tube, and again, they have such cute packaging, but I really do feel like their products, Benefit has some great brow products, and this particular face product is one of my favorites as far as primers go. So you can see it's just kind of like the same consistency as their other primer. It doesn't even look that much different in terms of color. So I'm just gonna kind of like tap that on. Sometimes I gotta be careful because I overdo it. It still has a nice little scent to it like the other ones do. And I'm going to put just a little bit more on because I didn't get my forehead or my chin really well. It does feel like there's more of a hydration in it. The other one doesn't feel necessarily dry, but this one definitely feels like it's a little bit more moisturizing, I guess I could say, instead of the other one. Slightly does feel more moisturizing, but still smells the same. Hopefully it will perform the same. Alrighty guys, so for foundation, I thought I would pull out one of my Colourpop foundations. I don't think I've talked about this on my channel. I want to say I bought it a year ago maybe. This is the No Filter foundation from Colourpop in the shade Light 60. So this is what it looks like. It just has a little pump on it. I was wearing this really consistently for quite some time, and I honestly don't know what happened. So the pump, honestly, it comes out. I think this is my regular shade, but we're gonna find out. Now, the brush roll definitely does not have my correct or a good brush for foundation, so I am going to be using my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80. This is my favorite one to utilize, so we're gonna go ahead and just do that. And I did forget to put on concealer, so we're gonna do that later. But anyway, as we do foundation, guys, it's been an interesting last 2 weeks. There's been a lot going on with this pandemic, and I am somebody who likes to prepare for things early, and I do, take things into account when things are going on. I've lived through many hurricanes living in Florida throughout my life, and I know what it's like to go without water. I know what it's like to go without electricity, and honestly to feel like you've got to hold up for a few days and be able to self-sustain. So I'm a prepper in the sense that, like, when I know something's coming, I'm going to be ready and I'm going to do it early. So the day actually before we got any corona cases in Florida, I had actually put in orders and went to the store to go get just some non-perishable food. I bought a bunch of like fancy ramen. I ordered it from Amazon. I went and I got, I didn't need toilet paper. Everybody seems to be buying that. I had plenty of toilet paper. I went and I got paper towels, Lysol. I went and got basically, things we needed. Kleenex, cold medicine, because if we got sick, I wanted to have, like Dayquil and NyQuil, all the stuff that you would need. So I did that. And the next day, after we went out and bought all that stuff, people thought, we were a little crazy. Nobody did. We didn't tell anybody, but people still weren't taking it very seriously, in my opinion, here in the United States. The day after the first case of corona popped up in a hospital, and I knew it was coming. When you have a global virus, and you aren't shutting down borders and stuff, like, it's gonna come through. It's just reality. I didn't really know how bad, obviously, it was going to be, and we still don't know. We're still in the midst of it right now. But anyway, so that week I was going to work as usual. And then Friday, I had something to do by myself, so I wasn't around anybody. But I was starting to feel sick. I started to feel a sore throat. And I, was a little worried, but like I didn't have a fever. And I honestly did not have a thermometer. And my boyfriend was also, he had been sick like 2 days prior to me starting to have just a sore throat. So that night when we got back home, and again, I didn't really work with anybody that day. I was kind of on my own doing stuff. And I decided that I was going to go get a thermometer. There was only 2 left in CVS. And I was still surprised that there was so much stuff. Like, I thought people would have taken it a little bit more seriously, but I think the tendency for people is to wait until something extreme happens before they take action, which I think is bad. I think that's going to put you at a disadvantage if you don't at least try to prepare ahead of time. So anyway, we take our temperatures and start taking our temperatures religiously as we're worried, but we're not sure if we have anything. We don't really know. So no, we've had no temperatures. And a few days after our sore throat, we start getting coughs. So we're starting to cough, nothing crazy, but I'm feeling congested, our noses are starting to run, and I'm also experiencing a lot of headaches. And I do get headaches a lot, but this seemed to be kind of touch and go. Like, some days they would be worse than others. And of course, Excedrin has been recalled again, so I only have so much left, and to me, Excedrin is the only headache medicine that actually helps me. So that was really, really stressful. But anyway, I did not go back into work on that Monday. I decided to work from home, and I told my boss that I wasn't feeling well. And we had had a lot of sick people prior to that. They'd had the cold, or their kids had been sick, so like I wasn't surprised that I had caught something. I just didn't know what it was. And it was mild. Like, it wasn't terrible. I still could work. I worked from home. I did everything virtually. And that was 2 weeks ago. So since then, sorry guys, I'm going to do my concealer now. This is going to be the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have been using this. I actually think it's pretty decent. Somewhat comparable to Tarte, even though I still love my Tarte Shape Tape. Going back to my story. So my boss was getting concerned and wanted me to call telemedicine, which we are very lucky in our office. We have telemedicine services where you can just call in and a doctor will call you back. And so I call in, and it actually took me 2.5 days to get a call back. They were so backlogged. It took forever to get a phone call back, but I wasn't worried. I wasn't, concerned, because I was okay. I just, we needed to know if I needed to get tested for the virus. So when the doctor finally talked to me, he said my symptoms are definitely in line with what coronavirus is. He says I could have it or I could have the general cold. They really had no idea, which is also kind of scary because it could be that mild and you don't even realize it, that it's something that you should get checked out. So I asked him, you know, should I take a test? Is there any tests available? Or I don't want to take one if someone else needs one because I'm okay. I think I'm going to survive. I'll be fine. I've been very mild in my symptoms. I've definitely had colds that are much worse in the past. And he appreciated that. He said, yes, you know, right now there's not enough tests in Florida. So he's like, we're not going to test you. And he's like, we're not going to put you as a person of interest since you haven't traveled to any other, you know, states or countries in the last 14 days. So I was like, okay, thanks a lot. And he's like, if it gets worse, just call back. And I said, okay. So I hung up the phone. And a few hours later, he calls me back, which scared me because no one else has ever called me back from telemedicine before. And he said that I needed, or he was going to have to label me as a person of under investigation. And that means that they're going to monitor your case just to see if, you know, in the future they do need to get you tested or just if you recover, that kind of a thing. Well, to be honest, they said they were going to follow back up with me. They haven't. So I never heard anything back. It did make me a little nervous, and he did say that I would need to continue my quarantine. So like I had already been quarantined for like 6 days at that point before I called telemedicine. Like I had self-quarantined. Which means I had just been in my house working from home, not really going outside except to walk my dog, staying away from people. And next, guys, we're going to be using the Kat Von D Lock-It Translucent Foundation. I got a little sample in one of my bags. Actually, I've got 2 samples, so they've been really trying to pump this, so we're going to test it. Before that, I need to do some cream products because a lot of Colourpop is cream. Sorry, guys, I'm all over the place today, but storytelling, I'm getting a little off track. So we're gonna do a Colourpop sculpting stick, which I haven't used in a long time. It's in the shade Dove, and I actually thought these were pretty cool. I don't remember it working that well, but we're gonna give it a shot. So I'm just gonna do my typical contour lines on my face and down my chin. And then we'll do some down my nose. If I can get it there. Okay, so we're gonna try that. We'll see if we can sculpt it out. Okay, I still don't think there's a brush good enough in here to do the sculpting on that. So what I'm gonna do is grab a brush that I've got that's a pretty thick, kind of like, I think it'll be a good one to blend. This is my MAC 125 SE. It actually came out from a really cool collection back in the day, but it's kind of like a nice, very like squeezed brush so that I can get a good angle. So let's try that. Okay, so I had quarantined for 6 days at that point, and he said to just continue doing that for 14 days again, just to like make sure. So yesterday was Saturday. That was my first day that I was technically out of quarantine, which was nice. Not that it's really changed anything. I still haven't really seen anybody. My brother did stop by because he did come into town. He had not been feeling well mentally and wanted to be near family, so he did stop by to see me. And we saw each other outside, so we didn't even go in the house. We were really careful. But he needed to talk to me about what's been going on in his life. So that was really nice, but it was like the first time I'd actually seen somebody other than my boyfriend and my dogs, which was really, honestly, very nice. So honestly, the scary thing is you don't even know necessarily if you have it or not, and technically now I'll never know. Testing is still very limited in Florida. They do have drive-through centers, but you have to, again, meet a lot of qualifications in order to get tested, and of course, you know, that's fine. I want people who need to get tested first. But I do think like that leads to why this thing is a little bit scarier than normal, is because you just don't know. I mean, somebody could even be asymptomatic and you don't know. So that being said, it's been a little crazy. I do feel a lot better, although I don't know if you can tell, like I still have a little bit of congestion that I feel in my chest. And it was mild the entire time, but I definitely had nasal drippage, headaches, coughing, you know, not fun stuff. But I actually feel better now, and I really wanted to get on my channel because I do feel like it's nice to chat with everybody. I'm gonna do blush now, which is a cream blush. This is the Kaepop Flushed Super Shock Cheek, and I guess it's Kaepop. I think that's what this is called. This is old, guys, so I have no idea how well or not well this is gonna work. It's kind of like almost like a rosy orange. I am gonna take one of, let's see, should I try a Colourpop brush now that maybe this will work? Let's try it. It's probably gonna ruin this pretty pink brush, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. This is a blush brush. It is the F21 from Colourpop. So let's see if we can get some color. Barely getting any color at all, barely. I'm gonna dig it in. I'm gonna dig it in. I'm gonna dig it in. So we got a little bit more. Okay, it's getting a little color. We're just gonna have to build it up. So I really wanted to get on here and do a video just to talk to you guys about it, because again, it's weird that this is something that's affecting the entire globe. I don't think in my lifetime I have ever seen anything like this. Like, yes, we've had hurricanes, we've had, you know, to stay at home, we've had to be careful, but we've never had something, there goes Pearl, we've never had something that has really affected the globe all at the same time. And that's kind of scary, you know, like I've been trying to do things to distract myself, and that was my point that I'm getting to, is like I've been looking at YouTube, I've been watching Netflix, and I've been trying to distract myself so that I don't think about it 24/7. I don't think watching the news is healthy all of the time, because I think like it can just create more anxiety and stress, and you know, we do need to be prepared, we need to be ready, but we need to also stay calm, because panicking is not going to help anyone. Next up, guys, I'm gonna do a highlighter. This is the Butterfly Beach Super Shock Cheek. This is one of their, again, cream, like powder cream highlighters. And I am gonna go in with another Colourpop brush. I do love these brushes, they're pretty. I just don't know how they function, so we're gonna find that out today. So this is the F20. We're just gonna get in there, see if we can't get some product. I'm gonna have to kind of like press it in a little bit just to really get it in there. Let's see if it works. I don't really see it. I don't really see it, guys. Trying to build it up. Okay, I see it a little bit. It's got a little bit of a sheen, but it's not, these are old. I honestly did not expect them to work that great, and if they're not, I'm gonna throw them out. But we're getting a little bit, not a lot. So anyway, like I do feel like it's important to have distraction, and I feel like there's not been a lot of videos on YouTube. I think people are honestly not in the, oh, hi, there it is. You can see it in the camera real well now. I think people need distraction, and you know, I'm not seeing a lot of YouTube videos, and I thought, you know what, I need to do something honestly that normalizes me not working, I've been working but not going into work and having to work from home. Like my schedule feels all messed up. Like I'm doing video conferencing, we're working on Microsoft Teams, it's cool, but like my schedule feels like all over the place, and I don't feel normalized. I'm not putting on makeup, I'm not even putting on real clothes in the morning, I'm still wearing my PJs. So I feel like today, since I actually felt better, like I wanted to do some makeup to just normalize my day, and also to talk to you guys and give you something to watch to hopefully take your mind off it, even though I know I've been talking about it the whole time. I'm telling you my story, and then to let you know that I'm going to continue to do videos again to try to keep our minds off it, or just take our minds off of it, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. And I recommend definitely checking out things that, you know, make you happy, or take you out of your current situation. I recommend Tiger King on Netflix. If you haven't been watching that, oh my god, it is insane. I don't even know where to begin on that. Next up, guys, I'm gonna take, again, this Kat Von D powder that I had, and I'm using this big Colourpop brush. This is the F18. This is like their powder brush, and this is so tiny, but we're gonna make it work. Woo! You see all that? It's like flying up. We're gonna then just put it all over everything we just did. But yeah, it's been crazy, and it's something that I think it's rare that the world experiences. It's the last, you know, pandemic we had was the influenza. the Spanish flu in 1918. And, you know, back then medicine isn't what it is now. And I think it's just a scary time. You know, it affects all of our jobs. It affects the economy. My particular age range has been super affected by the economy over the years in a very negative way. I mean, I graduated in 2008 and went into the world in a recession. Very hard to get a job. And so I know what it's like to struggle. I know what that's like, and I do not wish that on anyone, and I really am worried about that, and I hope that doesn't happen. But again, I am going to try to live day by day. This is a rapidly changing situation that every day something different is happening. We're learning something different. You know, right now in the United States, I want to say that we have the most cases in the world right now. We've surpassed China, or with what China reported. Who knows if that's real or not. And they're growing. We're definitely not peaked yet, and we're not through the situation, but we are going to get through it. And my recommendation to you is just to follow the guidelines. Again, be prepared, have food for yourself, know how to get to talk to people that you need to talk to in your health department, wherever you are, so that you can get your information. If you need to get tested, how do you get tested? But again, I really hope everybody is staying safe out there, and that, you know, we will get through this together. So I'm here, and hopefully if you guys want to talk or chat about it, I will chat in the comments with you below. But tell me how you're doing. Tell me what's going on, like what's happening where you are. I know New York is struggling right now, and so if you're in New York, you know, my heart goes out to you. And for those of us in Florida, I am worried, but I'm hopeful, honestly, that we're going to do our best, and we all have to do our part, which means we have to try to, you know, keep going, but also make sure that we're following those guidelines. Wash those hands, keep your social distancing, you know, all those things that we should be doing. So with that being said, let's move on to the next thing. So eye primer, I don't have anything for like eye base or concealer from Colourpop, even though I know they have it. Let me know if you like any of their concealers from Colourpop or eye bases, because I'm not sure about those. But you guys know that I love my MAC paint pot in Painterly, which has gone missing. I really need to reorganize some things. So I'm hoping that maybe I will take the time, now that I'm home 24/7, to clean up. I've actually cleaned up some of my areas already, so that's been a positive of trying to look at the bright side of being home, is getting things clean and organized. Aha, I found it. So this is the MAC paint pot in Painterly again, one of my favorite eye bases, just because it does such a great job of like covering up any discoloration, but also providing an awesome layer for eyeshadow to go down. Really, really love this stuff, and Painterly is like my perfect shade because I do have like pink undertones in my skin. But there's good ones for other shades, like if you're more yellow, there's another good one. I can't remember the name of it, but they do offer like a lot of options in the color base. So, whoa, let's do the palette next. Again, Bare Essentials just spoke to me. I thought it looked so pretty. I thought it was well done. It comes with a little cover to keep your eyeshadows clean. The first one that comes to mind that I want to try is the All For You, this medium toned purple brown here. And we're going to take, again, one of the Colourpop brushes, and let's see which one would be good. Let's do let's do this one. Sorry, we want it to be kind of fluffy. Let's do E16. And I love brushes that have the names on them. I think that's actually super helpful. So we're gonna just like pop into this. It's got a little bit of fallout, but that's okay. And we're just gonna put this in the outer corner. I have not purchased a lot of Colourpop in the last year. Like, this is the only purchase I've made in 2019. I used to love Colourpop. I would get a lot of their Super Shock shadows and like those cream powder formulas, and I just don't use them, unfortunately. Like, I think it's because they're singles, and it's hard for me to remember to use them when I have so many, you know, other palettes, which is terrible, and I need to be better at that. But I will say, like, I was curious like how the formula would be for their regular pressed shadows, and honestly, like, I think this is looking actually quite nice. So I'm really impressed. The brushes are okay. They're definitely not bad so far, so good. But I do have brushes that I personally love, so I don't know if they will be replacing those or not. Maybe some of them. This is what I typically find with brushes, is even if you do buy a brush pack, you'll tend to gravitate towards maybe one or two of those brushes that are awesome, and then you will forget the rest. So I actually have a menagerie of different brushes that I use. Oh, this is a pretty color. I really like that. That was all for you. Let's take another brown. This one is here, Hot Gossip, and we will put that one on, again, just the outer corner building up. We'll continue to go in with this brush, which is the E16. Try to give it some dimension here. But yeah, like it's such a weird experience to be in this, guys, because it doesn't even feel like it's happening in a way. Like, it feels very surreal. And every day it's like, am I really working from home? Is this really happening? One thing that I will say that has surprised me, I have become so much closer and so much more attached to my dogs than I already was. You guys know, if you've been on this channel a while, Pugs and Pearls is my channel name. I love my animals so much. Dutch and Pearl are like my pride and joy, and I wouldn't know what to do if anything were to happen to them. They are gorgeous dogs, and I love them so much. And we've gone to the park. There's a little park at my complex. We go to the park every day just to get some fresh air and to get out of here because I'm getting so stir crazy. So if you have any tips for working from home, let me know. Next up, I'm going to take the E21 brush. This is just a smaller, tighter, fluffy brush, and I'm going to do a darker brown shade. This one is called Tabloid, right here. Again, these are all mattes so far that I'm using, but there are some really pretty shimmers in here. So I'm going to take Tabloid, knock off that dust, and go in here. But yeah, it's just been so nice to like be with my dogs 24/7, and you know, they provide a lot of comfort, which is really nice to have. Alright guys, lunch just got delivered. I hear it at the door. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go get some lunch, and then I will come back and we're going to finish this look. Alright guys, I am back from lunch, and we are going to continue on with this eye look. And just an update as we go. I am going to start in with Spree, which is this really pretty kind of like mauve purple dark with gold shimmer in it. It looks really cool. I'm going to pack it on with the Colourpop E18 brush. And as I was watching lunch, I did a late lunch today. The president, Trump, was giving a update, and he basically extended our guidelines till April 30th, which did not surprise me. I know he had said he wanted to lift them by Easter, which was April 12th, I think, but it is no surprise to me that we cannot lift them. We're not even near, you know, this being over, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. This color is gorgeous, really pretty. And I'm going to want to buff that in up into my crease as well. So I'm going to take another kind of smaller brush. This is the E19, and I'm just going to kind of take what I have and I'm going to go up with it and try to blend it in. So yeah, that's not exactly great news. That means that, you know, things are still pretty bad. But that being said, you know, like, I'm not surprised by it at all. I had anticipated this to go much longer, you know, just comparing it to what China has reported. It's going to be a while before things get back to normal. And what is normal going to be, you know, when we're done? Who knows at this point? So again, going back to like doing stuff that, you know, makes you feel good. I have really missed working out. That used to be such a stress reliever for me, and I haven't been working out because, like I said, I've been sick for the last 2 weeks, and I am really hoping that Monday, tomorrow, that I will actually get out and go do something, because I I have not been feeling up to it. So I'm going to blend out with another fluffy brush just to, again, diffuse this because it's getting a little bit strong. I do love the shadows in this palette so far, guys. Like, this is a really nice palette. This is really cute. I think you could get a lot of looks from it, and I was worried that the shadow pigmentation would not be, you know, up to par, but it's actually really, really nice. And I feel like I've kind of lost some of that pigment, so I'm going to pack it back on because I really, really like that shade. So I'm going to pack it back on the lid. But yeah, we live in crazy times, guys. I don't know what to say. Like, it's definitely been an experience. And it's kind of a day-by-day thing at this point. So next up, we're going to do the Talk, which is this beautiful shimmer shade. I'm just going to put my hand in it or my finger in it and then put it on, because normally shimmers go on much better when you just use your hand. That is gorgeous. It feels really good too, nice and creamy. Really, really pretty. A nice gold shimmer there, nice light gold shimmer. That looks really good. Awesome. Very, very cool. Again, I'm just building it up to pack it on. Okay, guys, and then next I'm going to take a clean brush. This is the E3, and I'm just going to take Full Exposure, which is just a matte white shade here, and I'm just going to do that to highlight my brow bone. See how that white goes. You actually can see it, that's really good. It does show up. I'm just going to pack that on little by little, just again highlight that portion. And I'm just going to go back in with Hot Gossip, and that's that matte brown, and it's kind of like a medium tone. I'm just going to kind of go in and blend a little bit into the crease as well, giving us a little bit more brown there. Next up, guys, I'm going to just kind of clear up some of the fallout with my kabuki, brush some of that away, and then we are going to go ahead and go in with eyeliner now. So I do have a Colourpop eyeliner. This is the Colourpop gel liner. I do like these in the shade Show Me, and it's like a metallic brown. It is a really kind of cool shade, and I'm just going to go in with that. And these are very smooth. That gel definitely comes across in these liners. The only thing about them is that they do have a tendency to break in half. I've had a few gel liner sticks. If you spin it out too heavy, it will, or too long, it will break off. So I'm going to go ahead and also line my lashes down here, because it's a beautiful copper brown, so a little bit more natural than doing like a stark black, but very cool nonetheless. Love this shimmer of this shade. Next up, guys, for mascara, we're going to go in with the Damn Girl mascara from Too Faced. I've been using this a lot. I like it very, very much, and it just gives you some volume and some length. Really makes them a little bit more prominent. Alrighty, guys, so next for my eyebrows, I am going to go in with the Colourpop Brow Pencil. This is in Bangin' Brunette, and it has a little spoolie on this end, and then the liner is on this end, which I find very functional. And again, it's a very twist up. You just gotta twist to get the product. And let me put this cap back on. Alright, and then I'm just going to lightly fill in my brows. This definitely darkens them up and fills them in. Very, very fine, very, very fine piece right there. So again, you don't want to twist it up too much, otherwise it will break off as well. So you just have to be careful. Again, I'm just going to slightly put that in until they darken up and fill up, which I think they did very, very well. Alright, so I'm going to put the cap back on, then I am going to just kind of shape them out a little bit with this brush, which is really nice. Alrighty, I think that looks a little bit better. And then for lipstick, we are going to be taking the Colourpop. This is the Scorpio Moon lipstick. I really, really like this formula. This is just a cream formula, and I feel like it's long wearing, it stays on really well, and it's just a really pretty shade. It's kind of like a dark mauve with like a purple undertone. I wear this to work a lot. Alrighty guys, I just wanted to come back after I put my hair down, give you some final thoughts. I actually really like these for the eye brushes. As you can see, they're gonna get dirty really, really quickly. I do have a new Sephora mini color switch, so I was actually gonna see, let's test one out and see if this actually works. See if it cleans up that brush. I've never actually used one of these color switches before, but I've been meaning to. And it actually did a decent job. Still a little stained. Normally red are gonna stain your brushes, but actually not bad. So little color switch is a really helpful tool. But I do like the face brushes. I think that these are good for eye makeup. The face brushes, no. The eye brushes, yes. I think you have a lot of good ones that are small that you can really get into the creases. There's fluffy ones. There's a good powder brush and a good blush brush. Maybe you could use this for bronzer. But as far as like, you know, foundation, I don't think there's a good foundation brush in here. You definitely need, I think, a more flat kabuki. For the palette, this I am a fan of. I actually think it's very worth the money. Colourpop is making good pressed shadows, which I'm really happy to see. I feel like this is a one that I could get a lot of use out of, and I would wear this a lot. So I'm really excited that I finally tried it on camera for you guys, the Bare Necessities. And I would say the foundation, it's okay. It's nothing, again, revolutionary. It's all right. The gel liners are good. I do like them. The brow does do a good job. Like I said, these are very affordable products being Colourpop, and big fan of the lipsticks. So the cream blush and highlighter, these are older, so I can't give these a fair review because I feel like they're, you know, they're just a little bit, they're probably a little dried out at this point, but they still did work, just not as like much as I would have liked them to. But overall, again, this was just nice to do something normal in my routine, play with some makeup, play with some new things. I hope you guys enjoyed, and again, we are going to get through this, so if you'd like to share anything in the comments below, I would love to talk to you guys there, and I'm going to continue to do videos, and if you have any ideas for videos that you'd like to see me do, please leave suggestions. I'm happy to look into that and try to make it for you guys. And again, thank you so much and stay safe. Bye!